Hey, welcome everyone. Figured I'd do an early live stream before I go into work today. I was thinking about doing some more of the Doom texture editing and like overall mod for the Doom, or not for Doom, for Goldeneye's mod. So I'm gonna do that for like an hour or two. I figured I'd get some like showcased and live streamed. Oh, what if I had a gold PP7 in real life? I don't know. Depends if it has some dust on it. So for the last time, I kind of just went through and I was mainly just editing the vertex shading and making some textures on my own for the unused shotgun for Goldeneye. And I did a little bit of stuff behind the scenes that was just kind of like tedious, almost like the as seen on TV commercials where it's like, "Oh, we're going to bake a pie and we put it in the oven, but we already have one conveniently ready." Um so I've done that for some of these sound fonts and like different sounds for from Doom. So I had to go into like Doom's files and extract the audio and then some of the textures and stuff like that. So at least for today, I want to do getting some of the weapons at least set up and ready. And I'll be showcasing like how to change the stats on a weapon and change. You have no sound. But um I'll be going through, I'll show off Audacity, which is what I use to transfer over audio like WAV files so they can actually run in the GoldenEye editor and shit like that. So first I'll get into here. Rec helped me out figure out some stuff. Last time I was having an issue where the Doom pistol that I had ported just over the model and stuff, it was taking ammo from an invisible clip pull, despite I had it toggled that it shouldn't be doing that. So what I did this time is I got that figured out. He helped me figure that out, and now I'm going to pull it up real quick just so I can show the progress I have made. It's not too much progress I made off screen. Yeah, Doom is a mood. Alright, here we go. I won't put it in full screen just because it's so much. Oh, it's loud. There we go. I won't put it in full screen this time just because it's easier to not have to tab in and out from that. This will just be a quick test to just show off what I have currently put in here as a nice little touch up from what we've done last time and the little bits that I added. So, got the Doom pistol so far. Got it now that it doesn't reload anymore. I did that off screen. So instead of it pulling from a clip, it now pulls from the general ammo, which it can't be seen right now due to the infinite ammo. I have pulled the sentry turret for the D5K. That's going to be the chain gun. I'll be getting into working on that some more in this stream. I've replaced the audio file for the M16's firing sound, as I'm going to be using this gun a lot for the general enemy's weapons. And then there's the Doom shotgun. I have not done any sort of editing towards any of the stat changes or anything like that, just so I could show it off during the stream. The only thing I did is I ported the audio sound over. So that's currently where we lead off, I think. I think that's everything that's been changed. This stream, I may plan on changing some stuff about the laser as well. Oh, there it is. The rocket launcher, I also gave updated audio. So it actually sounds like the proper rocket launcher. So I think that being said, I can now exit out of this, and now I can continue working on some of what I need to get the editor done with, like the audio and shit like that. Also, I hope the audio is coming out pretty alright. I raised up the music audio a little bit more this time, so maybe it'll be like a little bit louder. And if it ends up being like too loud, if like my voice is like kind of conflicting with it, let me know. Also, what I've done this time, because it was really annoying, because you have to individually tab to each folder for anything on this. I just have my file that I'm currently using in the mod on top of the inside the audio file or the audio folder. What a refund. Oh my god, you really can't hear any audio. Why is it not doing that? Oh my god, I thought audio was playing this whole time. It showed it. There we go. There's the audio. It was lie. Oh, that's so silly. There we go. Now the audio should be coming through. That's so weird. It started off when I was doing the testing. It was there. It was picking up before I hit the live button. I was like, nope. All right, cool. So none of the sounds for the mod also went through probably. Cool. Great start. All right. So what I'll do now is I'll pull up the shotgun. Also, at some point, I'm going to go through the text editor too, kind of showcase that a little bit for people, as I need to go through and change up like the PP7's name to just like the pistol and then like the D5K is a chain gun and other stuff. So first thing I'm going to do is go into the bit flags, make sure these two are checked. It turned out the last time I didn't have this one checked, so it was pulling from an invisible clip despite having the first thing ticked off. So essentially what that does is it treats it like the laser, like the watch laser, which is pretty nice. Save that. I'm going to pull up a reference for Doom's stats. How much will I charge for these tutorials? Alright, kind of just send me money and I'll let you know when to stop. Oh right, some of the things I did change over is, so I have the PP7 obviously has been changed. There's the sounds. That's the sound for the pistol. I have it set for the proper ammo type, which is obviously going to be by default. The shotgun's already by default, but the thing I did change off screen is that's also the pistol ammo, and then the PP7 sound, which would just be the pistol sound in Doom. Since the chain gun and then the enemy's weapons that always look like an assault rifle. But, and then I gotta change over the D5K. So that's it normally. There we go. Got the explosive PP. I was debating too if I should include any other sort of weapons too from either like wads or stuff like that, or like similar games to Doom that are released, because at the moment I think it's like I got the PP7, the M16, the D5K, rocket launcher, and the laser is the weapons that I have that are going to be in the mod, but I feel like that's just a little bit too little to have, so maybe I'll try to find something to work around. Because I was thinking of the Doom Super Shotgun, but the problem is I don't know how to model and code the weapons to like transfer over into the editor itself. Also, as it currently sits, the Super PP. Oh my god. You know what? That would be kind of funny as a secret weapon instead of it being the gold PP7. Instead of it being the gold PP7, it fires like the Doom shotgun sound, like the super shotgun. That one would be the silver PP7. Oh my god. You know what? I'd learn how to model and import over weapon models if I can do that. I've added that as a screenshot for later. Long boy. Alright, so now what I want to do, off topic, or going back onto topic, there's the shotgun sound. I want to have the... Yeah! I want to make it that the shotgun fires as slow as in-game. So what I did in the past to get it to kind of like take its time is I do the recoil speed and I make that a lot slower. Right now, when I first was messing around, I would just make the numbers like stupidly long to see like how drastic these effects are. But for right now, I'm going to start it off as like, let's say a 3, like a 38. And then for this, I'm going to say, probably have it like a 40 and 17. So run that, see how this works. Alright, it's a little too long. So I have it on the right track at least. And maybe I'll do that and half that. How is the audio now, like the music audio? Is it better? I still need to go through and add some more music to it. I added like 1 or 2 more songs, I think, but I just need to do, like, sit down and add a bunch more sometime soon. Slob Gray. Yeah, it checks out. Yeah. I've speed read through the mod already. Something I need to do is I need to make the weapons fire slower, because right now I can auto fire, or not auto fire, like semi fire it at a normal speed, which is something I don't want to have it do. Let me just try having it like this first. I don't think it'll change much for this. it's still same firing speed. So now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to have the shotgun be centered, kind of like Doom's weapons. I've already got it done for the PP7, so I'll try to get it done for this now. This whole point of view system could be a little confusing at times. So it definitely required just a bunch of like messing around and testing and see what looks best. I'm also probably just going to go in and edit the first level to have the weapons I need, so I don't got to keep doing this. Ah, it's kind of spot on the first try. I could probably reduce the... Oh, let's see. Let me reduce the sway a little bit. Let me reduce it by half. And now I'll just do the same thing with the D5K. Go into here, enable both of them, disable that. Perfect. There we go. Probably make that a little faster. And then I'm going to bring the model back further. But at least that's a good start. Let me set this by 60. And see if that does it. No, so it'd actually be the other way around. There we go, that's a lot better. Now the problem I currently have is we don't have a way to properly have the barrel always be rotating. But Rec's gonna look through his files to see if he still has that part of the code. But if not, I can work something out around it. So that's at least looking really good. Reduce this down to 5. Let's have a normal 9mm ammo. Yeah, it's fine enough for now. So that's looking all good. Now I can get to the more fun parts. First, I'm going to go over to the stage options. I'm just going to edit dam so it actually has all the weapons and shit that I need, so I don't have to keep going into that menu. So that should be every single weapon that I'll be using in this mod, just about. And for starting ammo, let's give it a ton. I'll give it, like, let's say, like 500. Oh, and I need the rocket launcher, of course. I gotta do the rocket launcher as well. Are you talking about like just keep the levels completely the same? Because I wanted to do so the what I'm gonna do in the mod is I'm going to also change around the enemies to be closer to like the actual Doom enemies. So like I have texture work for the guards, so they kind of look more like the zombie marines, and then they'll be having like the M16s, and when they drop the M16s, they'll actually drop pistol ammo instead. Oh, I had a feeling, but oh, you got me. So now import this. I was sitting here. I was like, usually I'm like better at spacing out like when I do mods and stuff, but I couldn't stop thinking about working on the Doom mod, and I'm like, I can't just do like, I can't just work off on it off screen without doing like any sort of streaming stuff. Now do that. Now I gotta go back over to the weapon stats, change the rocket launcher before I forget that shit again. In-game piece of shit, turn it to 0. And then turn this to, well, let's do -7. Open this back up. You're a great man, Zika. There we go. Now we can properly see this working better. Alright, so I'll definitely have this a lot further. Also seems like maybe I'll move it. Let's see. No. Maybe that'll fix that. Let me try -3. It's still really funny to me how much is modeled on the rocket launcher and how high like quality some of the assets are on it, and you see like none of it. What if I just have it separate 10? Big boy on campus. The handle has like a really high quality texture. And it's like you never see it. And it's also got like texturing on the side and shit like that that you just never see. There we go. That's looking a little better. It moves a little funny. Not anymore after that. I still gotta go through and give it the normal properties. So have that. Auto aim capable. That's kind of funny, but it's gonna be nasty. Go in here, see what the bit flags are. Go back down to the rocket launcher. Remove capable of doubles. Save that. Do that for the shotgun before I forget that. Fine enough. If I could avoid having it do this, I'd like to. Oh, where'd it go? Cool. That looks pretty good. Now I'll just do this for the laser, and then I'll move on to actually editing the models themselves. Looks like I do not actually have the file for this at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'll open up Audacity. some sounds that I've pulled from Doom and translate them over to this. So here's all of my sounds I currently have for this at the moment, and I want the plasma gun. I'll take that. Yep, that's certainly plasma gun. Export audio, make sure it's 1600, 16,000, because if not, it runs a lot faster. Save the plasma gun sound. Import it. Should have been in there. Interesting, it's not showing up for me. Let me try and fix that. Export audio. There we go. I was just being a little silly and not actually exporting the file. So now I have that. Perfect. Save that, go over to weapon stats, make it fire 3. And then for single fire, set it to 16. Good start. So now that I don't need any of this, I can exit out of that. I don't need the intro blocks anymore, exit out of that. Now I'll go back into the model editing itself. And in the chance that I needed it at all, I took screenshot references of models. So the pistol's currently good. What I'll do now is I'll probably work on the D5K. Being really picky with me today. Holy hell. Thank you, Zika. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Appreciate you stopping by. So that looks good for now. I'll import this over, that way I just have a good start to it. There we go. I'll make a 0.7. Now go back into here. Since all you see is these flashes for like a single frame when they fire, I don't have to worry about them being too consistent. What I will do is I'll make sure this looks nice. This part of the model's being really picky with me, so what I may do is, yeah, that's working fine. I do it over here. Only this vertex itself is working, so what I may do is I'll import it over. Inject into my 0.7. And then I'll just reload the visual editor, so since it's giving me issues, most times this will in fact fix it. So I don't gotta worry about that too much. Yep, it's already fixed. I can click on it, no problem. Since we won't be seeing much of this part of the model at all, I don't gotta worry too much about that. Now for this, I may try to actually have it look a little similar. So normally in this, in the full resolution of this sprite, it has a bit of like a green and a yellow tint to it. Probably won't go to this extent with the coloring like that, but I will do little tiny bits. And then since this model rotates, I can't do any proper shading underneath, or it would look really funky when it rotates over. What I'll do as well is I'm going to hide all of this so I don't actually accidentally color over that. And I just gotta make sure all this consistently stays the same level of shading. Let's restart from fresh for that. And then I'll darken that around like that. Now I need to restart that. There we go, that's looking a bit better. Now what I'll do is take this. Right, that should look good for now. Just and give a little test. Oh, there we go. Wrong version. There we go. I was like, wait a minute, the model didn't look changed. Wrong version. Yeah, that looks fine so far. Open up the menu. Yeah, looks good. Cool. Now, next thing I'll do is I'll go into... let me do the laser. See what I can edit on this. Ideally, I'd like to get rid of this stuff to it. So let me hide it first just to see if there's anything I have to worry about. That looks pretty solid here, so that's good at least. as far as I'm concerned. I can just remove that. There we go. Now, since some of these textures are just one by one textures, they don't actually properly show up in the editor. That's why it kind of looks like there's nothing here. As we've seen without the textures on, that it is in fact still there. So that can be ruled out. So what we'll just do is I'll just shade over it with the no textures. But this is kind of has that tan look to it, and then the front's more of like a dark, cooler, warm gray in the front and cooler gray in the back. So what I'll do is I'll probably have over here will be kind of like the grays, and then the rest of it I'll have tan. Pop this up, where'd you get tan? There we go. Turn that off, and I'll turn the tinting off. For the consistency of the model too, what I may do is I may just have, like, do this tan, and then this little tube piece in the middle, maybe I'll make gray as well. You won't really see it in-game unless you're in the menu, so I'm not too worried about that, but at least for consistency's sake, it'll look a little bit more organized. So, get that shaded, have this shaded. There we go. And then once I separate these pieces, I can actually go into more depth into shading. But at least as of right now, get a nice little concept started. There we go. That imported over. Looks fine enough right now. And just show off what it looks like without really much any shading done. Yeah, so clearly you can see where it kind of needs work done. What I'll do too is I'll pull the model closer to the screen. That way it doesn't look so tiny. Do right now. Oh yeah, you're right, Merc. I have to do that at some point too. I have a little bit of an idea now that I've worked alongside like Adzy's texture pack a while. I can kind of like um eyeball it, but it's definitely good to check with the regular too. This is one of the few models that I recommend doing the shaded connecting value or vertices due to just how many different tries this has. So if I pull up with the wireframe, you can kind of see how many there is just for this one particular spot, and none of them are like properly connected because it's all one by one texture. They didn't properly UV connect like anything on this, so it's always a massive annoyance to shade this model in particular. But the problem that doing that is, though, once I unhide all of the rest of this model, it's probably going to look like it blended together with it. So now that I've kind of got it at a semi-comfortable level, maybe I'll go in, make it a little bit of a warmer gray, raise the red up, and then darken it. Pull this back up for reference. Give it a little bit of a warmer color tone to it. There we go, that's fine enough. So, you can kind of see all of the connected vertices to this by how it's connected through that. How the shading kind of looks like it like smeared, almost like a water paint. which is annoying, but that's why I decided to do the more simplistic sections last. So now I can turn that off. Try to remember what I had it set to before. Around there, I think. Turn the tint back off. Yeah, pretty similar. Now it's going to give me a bit of an issue. The visual editor is giving me the shits again. So what I'll do is I'll just import the visual over. Have that imported over. Inject in the ROM, and then I'll just relaunch it. Like that. Edit visual. There we go. Problem should be solved now. Yep, problem solved. So now I'll have this tinted. Hey, good to hear. Oh, did it fix, like, first try? Did you have to take it apart again? Or was it like, that was the exact piece that needed fixed? Hey, good shit. Glad to hear. I wouldn't even know where to begin fixing stuff like that. You don't really see under the model. I don't have to worry about that too much. But I'll still give it the gray just in case. There we go. This back up. Darken this down. And that's already looking pretty good as is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the textures up here to give it more of that kind of like spiraled, like ribbed texture that the plasma gun has. But at least for right now, the vertices and everything like that's been shaded. The most annoying part's been done. So now I'll import that over. That's open fine enough. Let's launch this, see how it looks. Yeah, it looks good enough to start. I'll now go into the rocket launcher and I'll edit that. I'll make that a bit darker. And pretty much, there's not much else I'd have to actually do for this. Maybe if anything, if I wanted to, I could remove these little extra pieces up here. That way they're not like in your face. But I'll decide on that later. Thankfully I don't need any of the wireframe stuff for this. I think there's only like one section of this that gives me the shits. That's like a 1x1 texture, but I think most of it's actually fine. So what I'll do now is go to here. It's more of a cool gray. So that's what I'll do for that. That's pretty much what this is. Get rid of tint. Darken a little more. There we go. I'll remove all of this as well. Like that. I'm just gonna flat out remove these little pieces of text off of it. There we go. And then the rocket launcher's kind of like texturing is a little lopsided. So I could either go into the UV editor and properly align it, or I could just shade accordingly to how it's layered. Kind of like see how it's right there. I could go in. That's a better example. I could go in and just shade it appropriately. So that's what I'm going to do. So tint that, bring this up to about 6. All the way down here. And I'll give some attention over on these sides too, so it doesn't just look like it's sticking out. And now you can't even really tell that it had an issue there to begin with. I'll continue it up on this. There we go. That's actually looking kind of decent. what I may do for some extra little bit of flair is I may give a little bit more of a shading to the front of this to kind of give like it's been burned from being fired so often. So usually what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of red and I'll go in with a little bit of purple. So that's already kind of looking a little nice. The unfortunate thing is just due to how little amount of tries are making this circular or like a cylinder, I won't be able to do as much detail that I'd like to do with the shading in particular. So I kind of do some of that around here. Do that. That's kind of like the real extent I can do before it kind of looks a little funky. For an extra fun little flair, I may just turn this red. You're not going to see it anyway. Give that some nice shading. There we go. There we go. That works for me. So I'll port that over. That rocket launcher's looking real nice. Put it into 0.7. Launch this, see how this works. That's looking really nice. That's a big improvement. I'll need to still go through and add the rocket itself, because the rocket's actually not connected to the model. So let's say that's why it has it labeled for one ammo. Let me fix that. Alright, cool. So that's looking good. I'm going to exit out of all this now. Now I'll go back into my game configuration and I'll try to get the rocket launcher to have the same kind of recoil as like Doom's. So I'll open that up, go into 0.7. Weapon stats, go over to the rocket launcher. Give it about, I want to say 8. And then 3. And then I'll put a C in here. And now I'll label this version 0.10. Open this up. Now let's see how the rocket looks on here. Alright, I gotta set it for infinite ammo. Okay, I know its problem now. Its fire rate is too fast for what it's worth. So reduce that down, save of that, and I'll pop this in. Sometimes editing the rocket launcher itself can be finicky, as any editing towards it will kind of like turning into like an automatic fire, kind of like that shit. I don't want it to do that. There we go. Let's see if this fixes it. Yep. There we go. it doesn't need to be that slow. Maybe I'll do it as 16. And then change that to 6. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. Cool. That is looking good. Okay, I gotta fix that. Oh, wrong one. Wrong run. Here we go. Export audio, 16. That looks good. There we go. Export that over. do you like that, Merc? There we go. Now that's better. see. I know, right? This one? I think it's this one. Wow, that's really fucking... That's really low! Why is it so low? Holy shit. This one, right? Yeah. Why? Why is it so low? Yeah, it really does. Holy hell. Okay, there we go. I got it somewhat fixed. So, there's that. Now I need that cursed goddamn sound. This. Yeah, that awful shit. I hate that sound. So do it with this instead. Got so much better. Nice. Alright, now it's time for a test. Well, it did the first one. There we go. Also, the timing, but I don't have any music on for Goldeneye, and I just have a playlist randomized, and it picked Runway. He knows. So there's a few more sounds I want to do. There's a lot of pain sounds. Make one of them have, like, instead of it being a pain sound, it's like the sneeze sound. I got something really funny. Do they really? I did not know that. Huh. I've got a fun little thing for Adzi. I'm sure he'll love it when he gets to hear it. I'll have that export. Huh. I need to find the sneeze sound effect. Oh, where is that sound? This is the cough sound. Ooh, good to hear. Where is this sneezing noise? There it is. It's so low. You know, I kind of like that. It's kind of funny. Oh no. What you thinking? It'd be kind of really funny if if the alarm sound that went off from security cameras um had the noise, and then they just the guard just spawn in. I want to see if I can get them to make noise in here. These guards always consistently sneeze without fail. So I'll boost this up to 30%. See how this goes. Come on, you little bastards. I know you want to sneeze. It got like 3 animations. It's scratching their ass, it's sneezing, and it's shooing a bug away. Just interesting considering it's in the middle of like the freezing snow. So an idea I have as well is I plan on taking these guards in particular because they got that like weird little mask to them, and I'm gonna retexture them to be like the imps. I gotta figure out how exactly I want to make imps, but I'm definitely gonna give them like a rocket launcher. What I have an idea on is I think I'm going to take the LOD model of the rocket launcher and change it out to kind of be like nothing, almost like a pistol maybe. So when they like wave their hand to like fire the pistol, it launches the rocket out of it. And then any sort of actual proper pickup of the rocket launcher I have, I may repurpose another weapon that won't be used and have it coded that it will pick up the rocket launcher instead of like, let's say, the Phantom. And then I would just pull the template of the actual rocket launcher's LOD and port it over to that. I think that's my workaround for that at the moment. You motherfucker, sneeze! It's in the middle of the winter. Ain't y'all got a cold? Oh no. Let me get over here to see if they do anything. There we go. It's diabolical. That is great. I'll do some work on it after I finish the stream. I'm probably going to stream for about maybe like another 15 minutes or so, and then I gotta start heading to work. But I figured if I was going to do anything, at least I'd work on like some of the more important fundamentals this stream, and then work on the actual levels next stream. Thankfully, for the most part, all of my shifts are in the morning. I don't gotta do with any closing shifts anymore for at least this next, like, 2 weeks. Which is nice. Turn these off. That's perfect. That fire effect looks nice too. Considering I didn't do like too much, it's coming out really well so far. It's at a state that you can look at the mod and you can tell what it is. That would be kind of funny. I gotta figure out how I would do that. Normally, the faster move speed is, at least from my knowledge, is from the POV. So I could make him slightly taller. I'm sure there's probably something like in the engine itself. It could even be an action code that makes like his speed increase or something like that. So I was kind of thinking of doing a Doom themed map, but the only problem is I don't quite know how to do much with the map editor yet, sadly, regarding oh, what's that program called? Oh, let me find SketchUp. If I could get Zika to give me some more pointers and tips when it comes to working with SketchUp, I can easily get a recreation for Doom in there. I started working with SketchUp, and then like I was just working nonstop at work, so I was like I didn't have too much time. I kind of forgot the things I had learned. So for now, what last second things can I swap over? Ooh, I got an idea. I can do more slap sounds. Export audio. Export it to that. Open this back up. And then go to like punch 2. Punch landing 2. Yeah, it's kind of perfect. Save that. And then I don't think I have a punch 3. Yeah, not at the moment. Let me open up. I got a little bit of an idea. I'm thinking instead of having like a ton of different grunt sounds, maybe I'll have a bunch that just has nothing. Because like how Doom is, where it's like they don't have anything, but they'll have like pain states. Maybe I'll have like where it's just silence, and then like every 5 or like random number could have like a an effect, like a death effect. Oh, that implies there's multiple gun switch. There it is. That I can have be the weapon pickup sound. Export that into here. I do want the item pickup sound though. I can't remember. I gotta load this up real quick. I gotta remember what sound it is exactly when you pick up a weapon. Okay, so it is weapon switch too. Ah, oh, that kind of ruins the idea. We'll use this weapon switch 1 then. No. Let's see. We just need to do new gun. I could have the armor acquire be the sound I want it to be then. I just gotta figure out where that's exactly at. Hmm. Hmm. Is that the sound I was thinking, or is that... Where is it? There it is. So now, go into here, get that. Export audio, item pickup. Apparently I already have it. That's too quiet and too quick. So let me try and see if this fixes it. That's too low. Let me do like, I don't know, 1900. See if that works. Kinda. $1,800. Yeah, it's close enough. That's fine with me. I'll actually do my own version. Set it for 15. So I'll give one more little run through of this, and then I'll probably call it here. Just to showcase how far I've gotten from the beginning of this to where I am now, and then showcase what the sounds can sound like. I'll do enemy rockets. Do facility for agent just because armor is in here. That's the weapon pickup sound. That's perfect. That's a great sound for that. I wanted that to be for like other items too, but unfortunately I was not able to get that to work. At least right now. Whew. Next time I'll definitely speed up the fire rate of the minigun. And then I'll slow down the fire rate of the M16. I really want to figure out how to be able to get the single fire to have to wait. Because if I could get it to fire like this normally without having to worry, that'd be perfect. And then next time I'll also fix the audio for this so it doesn't cut off. Rocket launcher looks good. I got a really stupid, funny idea for the Cacodemon Merc. And I'm really excited for you to get to see it when I finish with the idea. It's really dumb. It's really stupid. It is you. No, it's not. But it's kind of like if I took, I'll give a hint. DK mode. No. But it's gonna be really funny. Oh no. But unfortunately, I gotta head out for work now. Depending, I may stream later today. May do like around this time tomorrow. Who knows? I just had a little bit of time before work, and I was really wanting to kind of work some more on this mod, and I wanted to kind of like just do a what's it called, like a not like a documentary, kind of like documenting like what I'm working on and like where I'm getting with this mod in specific. So I'll definitely be doing this sometime soon. But I appreciate Merc and Zika for sticking around for most or half to most of this. And I appreciate everyone else who has stopped by. And I hope y'all have a good rest of your day or night. Bye-bye, y'all.